Good morning, Kella Price with Healthy Fit. Today's workout is Bikini Body Camp. We are going to be using a resistance loop, so if you have one of these to put on your upper thighs, you'll want to get that. I also have 2 sets of weights. Depending on the exercises that we're doing, I may recommend a lighter or a heavier set of weight. I'm encouraging you to use at least 5 pounds, if not more, for today's exercise to really focus on building strength and endurance. I have a chair, so for some of the exercises I'll demonstrate a chair option as well as a mat on the floor because I have a hard surface here. So grab your equipment, grab your water, and let's get started. All right, starting with our first warm-up move, squat narrow, medium, and wide. So we're going to start with our feet relatively close together, if not totally close. In a squat, chest up nice and tall. Medium, it's going to be shoulder width or a little bit more than shoulder width, chest up. And then wide squat. Your knees and your toes go out to the side. Back to medium and narrow. Warming up those major muscle groups. That looks good. Last one, hip hinge. So this is a warm up for our deadlift. We can have our hands on our hips. Tipping at the hip, we look like a 7. We want to have that long spine from the top of our head out through our tailbone. Our hamstrings are engaged. Hip hinge, standing up. Our lower back is engaged. Feeling that good stretch in the hamstrings. Staying down in the deadlift now. We can forward fold, either bending our hands and crossing them, using your chair for support, or hands on the floor. Bend and straighten those legs. Again, further warming up the hamstring. Roll it up. Grab your weights. I'm going to use my heavier weights for this. Forward and back lunges. Chest open and wide. Feet are like train tracks, stepping forward into that lunge. Either tap or float the leg, stepping back. Lunge. Knees come down in alignment with toes. Core is engaged so that your body's nice and tall. Good. Let's switch to the other side. Same movement, stepping forward into that that lunge. Forward lunge, float or tap the leg at the center, then stepping back into a backward lunge. Float the leg or tap it down. One more. Set down the weights, curtsy, down and up. Crossing your leg behind in that curtsy, reaching down towards your thigh, your calf, or the floor. Bring that, tap that knee or that foot and drive it up, or float the leg. Reach down and reach up. You should be feeling this in the outside of the leg and into the glute. If you're feeling any pressure in your knee, I need you to shift your weight back to really target those major muscle groups. Let's switch to the other side. Crossing the leg behind, putting the weight back into the glute, working the outside of the leg, reaching down towards the thigh, the calf, or the floor. Drive that knee up. I like to switch the arm on this so that the arm you're reaching is opposite of your knee. Engage the core, find your balance, driving. There is some balance work here through the ball of the foot each one of the toes. All right, sun salutation. If you're not getting down on the floor, when we go to do our calf raises, you're gonna do it right here. Then we'll bend our knees in a pedal. All right, everyone join me. Big inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shoulders back. Exhale, step it out to plank on your knees or toes or on your chair. Nice long line through the spine here. Push back into that down dog. Pressing back, pushing those heels towards the floor, feeling the good stretch in your shoulders. Let's lift and lower those heels up away from the mat and down, trying to press through the toes, lifting evenly. This is good ankle strengthening exercise. We want to lift evenly, not rolling the foot to the inside or outside. Check your alignment there. From the down dog, now let's bend those knees right and left, right and left. Coming back into a plank on your chair, on your knees or on your toes. Checkpoint, make sure your hand is stacked under your shoulder. Pushing through in your push-up. Pressing through the palms. Now, if you're on the floor, I want you to feel like you're pulling your arms towards the outside of your mat or trying to rip the floor underneath you in half to really open up the chest. One more. Back to your plank. Step it in and roll it up. Get a sip of water. We're all warmed up and ready to work. The protocol for today's workout, we've got compound movements. Each one is 1 minute each. We're going to do each of the exercises one time through and then repeat for a second round before we go into a core block. Go ahead and grab one or two of your weights. I have one of my heavier weights here in a goblet squat side step. So I'm going to use my mat area here. Check your area to make sure you don't have anything in the way. Side stepping to one side and returning back to the other side. If one weight is not heavy enough, you can always grab that second weight and put them together here. Elbows in. Keep your legs bent. That looks great. Chest up nice and tall. Are you feeling that in your legs? We've got 20 seconds left. Stick with me. These longer minute exercises is going to challenge your endurance to build strength in those muscles. Almost there. And rest. Stationary lunge. Step back into a lunge. I always start with my left leg as the lead leg because I'm a lefty. Doesn't matter. Just remember which side you're starting with. Once we have our feet in those train tracks, knees come down in alignment with toes, hammer curl. Elbows in close to the body. That looks good. Chest is up nice and tall. Ideally, we have that 90-degree bend in the front leg as we come down. Nice and controlled. We're halfway there. How are we doing? Whew. I'm sweating already. "20 seconds left. Stick with me. Keep in mind watching those knees as you come down, that they stay in alignment with the toes. As we get fatigued, they may want to come into the inside. We want to keep them in alignment. Rest. Sumo squat, upright row. I have a shoulder injury, so I'm going to lighten up my weight here on this one. You can keep the same weight if you'd like. Feet are out wide, chest up nice and tall. Imagine you're sliding your back down a wall, leading with the elbows, upright row. Good job. Chest up nice and tall. Squeezing the butt cheeks and the inner thighs at the top of that sumo squat. We've got 15 seconds left. Now if you're using a resistance band, you're really feeling that resistance as you go deep into the squat. This is our last one. Deadlift, row at the bottom. So we're gonna flip our arms so our palms are facing upward. I'm turning to the side so you can see my form. Tipping at the hip, like that hip hinge we did in the warm-up. Leading with the elbows at the bottom. Squeeze in that row and stand up. You should feel your lower back part of your core engaged in this deadlift. Again, we want to imagine that straight line from our tailbone all the way up our spine and out the top of our head. In terms of your eye gaze, as we start, our eyes are in front, and as we come down, we're looking down towards the floor here to keep that good spinal alignment. Good. Push out through the butt cheeks. Press the booty towards the back. Leading with the elbows. Squeeze at the top. Yep. Good. Rest. Stationary curtsy with tricep extension. You can use a lighter weight for this. Crossing the leg behind. Again, this is a one-sided exercise, so start with that same leg that you used on the lunges. Arms up overhead, elbows close to the body. Curtsy. There is some balance built into this because our arms are extending, so we want to keep our core engaged so our body's not all wobbly here. Extend, keeping those elbows close to your ears like you're trying to block out my voice. If your elbows start to come out, that's when your biceps are helping the triceps. If one weight is too much, you can always set one down and do a one weight. Or if you want an extra challenge for this exercise, don't hold the weights together, keep them slightly separated so each arm is doing the exercise separately. Rest. All right, weighted burpee with overhead reach. Chair option. On the chair, stepping back into our plank row. With both arms, step in, put it away overhead. Option 2, on the floor, stepping back into a plank on your knees or toes. Row, row. Step it forward or hop it forward. Put it away overhead. Step or hop it out. Row. Put it away up overhead. When we're doing our rows, we want to make sure our back's not arching, that it's a nice long line through our spine, just like we did on the other exercises. 10 seconds left. It helps if your feet are wide on the road to give you a better frame of support. And rest. All right, that was our first full round of exercises. Going back to our goblet squat side step, assess the weight that you used. If you feel like you could do more, this is where you can add some weight. Chest up nice and tall, side stepping. Check your area as you move to make sure you're not going to trip on anything. Maybe a weight that you left on the floor, a pet, a water bottle. Chest is up nice and tall, that looks good. So as we do these, get as low as you can while keeping your chest up. We've got 15 seconds left. Whew. Those legs are burning. Stick with me. You gotta push through a little bit of discomfort to get to the point where change happens. And rest. Stationary lunge, hammer curl. Grab your other weight. Hopefully you remember which side you started with. I started with left, foot front, so now I'm going to right. Feet are like train tracks. Knees come down in alignment with toes. Remember, we don't want those knees to cave in. Keep them in alignment. If you have a mirror there, you can check. That front knee's coming in a little bit. Control it, going in front of your toe. We've got a little bit more than 20 seconds left. Push through. Nice tall posture. That looks good. 8 seconds left. Give me 2 more. Last one. Sumo squat, upright row. You can assess the weight that you used last time on this and adjust as necessary. Feet are out wide. Remember, it's like we're sliding our back down a wall. As low as we can go. Upright row. Squeezing our inner thigh and our glutes at the top. Good. That looks amazing. Good job. You got this. We're at the halfway point. My legs are on fire. What about yours? Whew. Stick with me. 20 seconds left. Challenging our major muscle groups throughout the exercise. Doing all these different variety of leg exercises is really going to tone and define those legs and help your body burn more calories even when you're resting. All right, deadlift. Upright row, row at the bottom. Flip those hands over. So as you tip at the hip, leading those elbows back, feeling it in your hamstrings, feeling your lower back engaged as our chest is open and wide, making our body look like a 7 here. Squeeze those shoulder blades at the top. Imagine you're trying to squeeze a pencil on your back before you come up. Now I want you to look out in front of your feet. It looks like your neck's down a little bit. Bring it up so it's a little bit more neutral at the bottom. Bring those shoulders back. We've got 10 seconds left. I want you to feel your lower back engaged as you tip at the hip. So one thing that we're looking for is if you had a stick and you had it on your back as you do deadlifts, it's gonna stay on your spine. When I round my back, you see the stick comes up, we want it flat. All right, stationary curtsy with a tricep extension. This is gonna be with your lighter weights on your second side. Check your area, make sure nothing's in the way. Pets, weights or otherwise. Pushing back into that glute. Extend that arm overhead. Keeping those elbows close to the head to really work the back of the arm here. And extend. Arms up overhead. Reaching up. Ten seconds left. So we've got about 3 more repetitions. Last one. Weighted burpee with row and lift overhead. Chair option, stepping back into your plank here. Row with both arms. Stepping in. Put that item away overhead. Or on your floor. Stepping back onto your knees or toes. Row, leading with elbows. Whether you're on your knees or your toes, if your feet are out wide, it's going to give you a better base of support because we want to try to minimize rotation and keep your body parallel with your mat. Reaching up overhead. Those lifts overhead are going to be great for giving your shoulders definition. Whether you're wearing a swimsuit or an evening gown or something else. Row, row. Core is engaged. Nice long line through the spine on those planks. And rest. All right, we're moving into our core block. Standing option for our first movement, lightweight. You're going to close grip chest press to the front. Otherwise, join me on the floor. Feet are out parallel. Weights are together. Push up into that glute bridge. Pressing your belly button towards the sky. Squeeze those butt cheeks. Weight should be about at your bra line. As you come down, your arms are rubbing on the sides of your shirt. The weights are together. Because again, we want to work our tricep here as well as our chest. Press it up. Lift those butt cheeks up as we start to go. Sometimes we want to let the butt cheeks fall. We want to press so we have a straight line from our tailbone up to our neck. 10 seconds left. Press. You got it. Last one right here. Come on down. Forearm plank, arm reach and pull. Floor option. So when we do our forearm plank, I want your arms shoulder width apart to support the shoulder. On your knees or toes, extend that arm, glide it on the floor and back. Reach and back. Nice long line through the spine. Look out in front of your hands, not down towards your feet or your knees. If you're using the chair option, it's going to look the same. Keep going. Reaching in front and back. Front and back. We want to make sure we're not dipping our hips towards the front as we go into our last 15 seconds here. Reach and retract. Reach and retract. Exhale as you reach to really engage that core. And rest. Weighted bicycle, whether you're seated in the chair or the floor. Grab a weight. We want a nice long line through the spine from our tailbone up through our head, like we have that string space under our chin. Driving knee to opposite elbow. Your first option is right here, tapping down with each one. Another option, floated legs. Now, if you're using the chair option, you should be seated at the front of your chair so you have room to lean back to engage that core. That looks good. We've got 20 seconds left. Strong exhale as you rotate. We got a little spinal twist in there. arm for this one. Elbow is below the shoulder to support. We have a couple options here. Laying on our hip, reaching down and up, or extend that hip up. We really want to keep this hip lifted as we reach under the bridge and up, under and up. We can also do this on our toes. We want to make sure to keep that hip lifted to really engage that oblique and give us that tone and definition on the sides of our body. Same thing if you're in the chair. You're doing the standing option right here. And reach. The hip is still lifted. Exhale as you go under and reach. 15 seconds left. When we finish this side, we are going to transfer to the other side. Our body's flat like a piece of toast going in a toaster. Rest. Flip over to the other side, whether you're standing, you're on your hip, your knee, your toes. Check that elbow is below the shoulder for support. My body's nice and flat. Slight rotation as we go under, keeping that hip lifted, and reach. Under, and reach. Exhale as you go under. Do you feel that engagement in your core as you exhale? And reach. Remember your toe option looks the same. I encourage you to challenge yourself. Maybe you can only do a couple of a harder progression, a more challenging option, and then you can always come back to a different option. It's up to you. This is your workout. I want you to challenge yourself. And guess what? This is our last move before our cool down. And reach. And reach. Last one. And drop it down. We can take off the resistance band. The hard work is over. Let's cool it down. Towel off, get a sip of water. Going into our cat-cow, I'll demonstrate the floor option first since I'm down here already. In that tabletop position, nice neutral spine, so our back is flat. As we exhale, push your butt up to the ceiling, sinking your belly button down towards the floor. Look out in front. Exhale, push your spine towards the ceiling, looking down at your feet. Inhale, press up. Exhale, let your belly drop. A little bit of spinal mobility. Standing option right here. Let's go into child's pose now. Floor option, pushing back onto your heels, reaching those arms forward as far as you can. So you're pushing back and pulling forward, opposing push-pull. If you're in the chair, feet are out in front of you. You're at the edge of the chair, reaching down towards your feet, pulling your arms as far forward as you can. Whether you're in the chair or on the floor, allow your head to relax and drop towards the mat or towards your thighs. Reaching forward a little bit more so you get that good stretch from your pinky all the way down your hip bone. Now let's come up and place that arm across your thigh. Shoulder comes away from your ear, reaching the other arm forward. Again, still pushing back on your glutes and reaching as far forward as you can, relaxing your head. Let's do that on the other side. Arm across the thigh, reaching forward, shoulders away from the ear, the head is dropped. Slowing our breath, sending that blood back to our heart. Come on up for a quad stretch. Option one is putting the foot on the chair to stretch out that thigh, or using the seat for balance. Grabbing the top of the foot, bringing the knees together for that quad stretch. Still engaging the core so our body's nice and tall here. Step back now into a staggered stance. We want those feet parallel. Knees come down in alignment with toes. Sink down into that stretch to feel it in your hip flexor. You feel it right here in the front? Now press that back heel down for a calf stretch. Feels really good. Let's do that on the other side, starting with the quad stretch. Grabbing the top of the foot, bringing the knees together. So our heel is coming close to our butt cheek here. Stepping back into that staggered stance. Sink into it so you feel it in the hip flexor again. This is a good opportunity to check that alignment of those knees. As we get fatigued again, that front knee is going to want to come in. Keep it in alignment. That looks good. Press now that back heel down to the floor for a calf stretch. Bicep stretch, arm across the body, shoulder away from the ear. Stretching out the arm here. Take that same arm up overhead, applying gentle pressure to your elbow to get that good stretch through the tricep. Nice deep breaths. Arm across the body on the other side, shoulder away from the ear. You did great work today. Hope you feel amazing. You have those happy endorphins flowing. If you didn't drink your whole water during our workout today, make sure that you finish that during your post-workout snack. Open up your arms like you're going to give yourself a big hug, stretching out from arm across your shoulders. Give yourself a hug. Other side open, cross. Overhead side stretch. Make sure you tag me in your sweaty selfie at Kella Price, at Healthy Fitness Life Coach, at Bikini Body Camp. Let me know what you thought of the workout. Have a great day. I will see you next time.